Ringing Constitutional, thank you so very much. Ringing Constitutional, thank you as always for starting it off. Scarlett, I hope all is well. Thank you for staying up to watch. Scarlett, thank you. Ringing Constitutional, I can't thank you enough for starting off the super chat. Always means a great deal to me. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people who are now facing a discrimination case. I'm just, swimming upstream always. I'm like a little salmon swimming upstream, trying to evade, the grizzly bears of just this entire Orwellian media narrative that everything is Trump's fault and nothing's ever going to happen with Durham and all that kind of thing. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Giacomo, hello. Scarlett, hello. Ringen, hello. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526. I can't thank you enough for being the best moderators in all of YouTube. Ringen, thank you so very much again. I want to read you this before we get to prosecutions in play. Devin Nunes says, Washington Examiner. Before we get to that, that's it. That's a Washington Examiner article. I can put that below in the description section. Vintage Girl, hello. To my super chat, thank you. Solid Picks, our beloved president. Solid Picks is in the house. Solid Picks. Ringen is in the house. Thank you so very much. I want to read you a wonderful opinion article in the Wall Street Journal. It's by the editorial board. It falls within the purview, within the special counsel scope. Do you want to be, knowing that there's a Durham probe, knowing that in 2022 the House is going to go Trump Republican? It won't be Mitt Romney Republican. It'll be Jim Jordan. It'll be Devin Nunes. It'll be Mo Brooks. It'll be the Republicans that the Richard Grenell, the John Ratcliffe, the Ron DeSantis type of Republicans, the more populist Republicans. So you have the establishment, Cheney, Kinzinger, Romney, the Nebraska senator that rhymes with rear end, and you have the Trump Republicans that have really taken over the Republican Party. The GOP, you're going to have never Trumpers primaried out of politics. These people are going to want to impose, well, Biden's keeping the tariffs, but they're going to want to do things like impose tariffs, limit American military interventions, continue to bring home Americans. So hopefully by then, by 2024, by 2022, Biden, hopefully by then he will have honored the negotiated deal that Trump negotiated, okay, in last year. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to read you this. Hunter's secret art sale. You won't believe what the White House thinks is an ethical solution. They would never allow this for Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr., but this falls within the scope of the Durham Probe Special Counsel. The Durham Probe is a special counsel now. You can't simply find ways to launder. You can't simply find creative ways to have your son or a person who was at the heart of, when they say, well, you know what, if Hunter Biden uses the you-know-what word, that's not that big of a deal, he's not really in politics. Yes, he is. He's the reason that Trump got impeached in the first place. The first impeachment was entirely because of Hunter. Because Biden was on record, on tape, as boasting that he removed a prosecutor from another country. He fired another country's prosecutor. Okay? Then they said, well, it was good because, the prosecutor wasn't going after corruption. It's a corrupt act to force another country to fire a prosecutor. It's not for the United States of America or the vice president to say, oh, well, we don't like that that state official. You need to remove him or replace him. It's none of our business. We have no right to do that. And if other countries did that, could you imagine if somebody said, you know what, I don't really like your Secretary of State, Madam Secretary, or I guess, you know what, I don't really like, this, John Kerry as a special envoy. I mean, you wouldn't. I don't like your vice president. You wouldn't allow that. No other country would allow that, or we wouldn't allow any other country to force out any official. But Biden did that because he forced out a prosecutor who was involved with a potential investigation into the company that hired Hunter. This is obvious. It's like right in your face. The corruption is right there. It's pretty blatant and transparent. It's not rocket science. It's not difficult. This is not difficult to understand. It's right there. My God Almighty, it's right there. But here, Wall Street Journal, as President Biden's son, Hunter, prepares for an art exhibition. So he is, at the same time, an oil and gas expert, not really, and also an artist, not really. Or whatever, anybody could be an artist. That's fine. So he's an artist. As president, for an art exhibition this fall that could include selling his paintings at prices up to $500,000. Do you think maybe it's a creative way to funnel money for influence? Do you think maybe people said, okay, there's no Clinton Foundation and there's no oil and gas company in another country, in a country where he doesn't even speak the language, in a country where the company itself was known for corruption and was about to either get investigated or the investigation was ongoing. They keep on saying, it never happened. Well, the fired prosecutor is on record as saying they were about to investigate the company. Justin, hello. So here, the New York gallery hosting the sale, media reports say, will refuse suspicious offers, including those over listed price. It's like the listed price is $500,000. You mean there's no artist in New York? You mean in the what used to be the cultural, one of the cultural centers of the world, if you want to use that word, one of the artistic hubs, the mecca of the art world. I don't know if, like Andy Warhol and whatever. That's like pop art and modern art, but like, you mean that you can't find, there's a million, there's so many artists that come from New York that you could say, okay, Basquiat, a whole bunch of artists that you could say, okay, modern art that's worth this type of money that actually, you don't think there are artists in New York? I mean, you most despise Trump. You don't think you could find an artist where the paintings are $500,000, like a person that's actually done this his or her entire life? And so suddenly, yeah, he could be an artist, that's true, but he also is linked to emails that we see. How can you use your influence on behalf of the company? The emails that he had on his laptop that he left in a drunken stupor show pay-to-play schemes. Actually show quid pro quo, like, statements. The president lied about meeting his son's business associates. So they go after Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner and Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. These people have worked in their family business, in real estate. They've been wealthy their entire lives. Okay? The Bidens have not. They haven't. If you want to talk about nepotism, this isn't nepotism. Nepotism is fine. If you want to pass on a legacy or the family business to your kids, that's a beautiful thing. This is different. This is about selling the potential for access. This is about This is about finding creative ways to launder or to transfer wealth simply because you want some type of influence within the U.S. government. So they hired Hunter not because of his oil and gas expertise, and not because it was a favor to his father, who happened to just be a businessman. No, his father was the vice president at that point. And then you have an email saying, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company? So then you had this Cold War hysteria that could have benefited the company. Who knows? I mean, it's pretty obvious. This is why trust in American media is at an all-time low. The double standard is blatant. If they went after this story in the same manner they went after Trump-Russia, that would be different. But they don't care. If you had media that was just always looking for a story left or right, it doesn't matter. People would take it take these publications more seriously. When you have the Wall Street Journal at least doing its job, it's just like the double standard is unbelievable, and this falls within the special counsel. You need 2022. You need some political support within the Republican Party. Then you'll have the indictments that everybody's waiting for. You need some political support. Exactly, Johnny, exactly. So, here you go. The New York gallery hosting the sale, media reports, will refuse suspicious offers, yeah, right, including those over list price. The names of the buyers and that will be kept confidential, even from Hunter. Why would you need the names of the buyers confidential? That's a question that everyone should ask. As the paintings sell, apparently hundreds of thousands of dollars will simply appear in his bank account, and neither he nor the public will know where it came from. How on earth is the FEC? How on earth is the DOJ? I mean, he won't. As the paintings sell, apparently hundreds of thousands of dollars will simply appear in his bank account, and neither he nor the public will know where it came from. Are you kidding me? Even the Clinton Foundation was more, even, oh my goodness, even we were more transparent than that. Come on now. Are you serious? You know what? My new name is Bill Picasso Clinton. My wife her new name is Hillary Salvador Dali Clinton. I'll let you know. I drew this, I have a wonderful oil painting of, you don't want to know what it's about, but still. Could you imagine? This makes the Clinton Foundation look like the most honest thing in the world. Mark, hello. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. As the paintings sell, apparently hundreds of thousands of dollars will simply appear in his bank account, and neither he nor the public will know where it came from. Are you serious? Are you serious? Let's read his emails, by the way, that the New York Post broke. So, emails reveal how Hunter introduced businessman to VP dad. Gee, there's nothing wrong here. Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and pleasure. A number 3 at the company, where, the company in question here that hired him, asked Hunter for, quote, advice on how you could use your influence on the company's behalf. The correspondence flies in the face of Joe Biden's claim that he, quote, never spoke to my son about overseas business dealings. The whole thing is a racket that the New York Post broke. This should have been the biggest story in years. This is an actual story where the let's just put it mildly, the son who has substance issues of one of the most influential politicians who's now president, the vice president, left a laptop in a drunken stupor at a computer repair shop, and the entire left, they've gone after Trump based on the flimsiest of circumstantial evidence that they literally had to fabricate to link Trump to, lives within plausible deniability. You don't know if it's his emails. You don't know if it's his laptop. It's like you wouldn't give the benefit of the doubt to anyone associated with Trump. It doesn't even have to be Trump. It could be like Trump's, proctologists, neighbors, gardeners, dentist. Oh, he knew. Oh my God. Dun 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 dun. All the walls are closing in. Trump's neighbor's proctologist, dentist, had emails that he left in a drunken stupor. You know what? And Trump never even denied the emails were Trump's neighbor's proctologist, dentist. So there you go. They wouldn't give anyone associated with Trump but the benefit of the doubt. Stephen Parton, hello. They wouldn't give anyone associated with Trump the benefit of the doubt. It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, it's really unbelievable. The customer who brought in the water-damaged MacBook Pro. I used to do a good imitation. Let's see if I can still do it. Svetlana, what did you do with the MacBook Pro? Oh, I can't do it. What did you do with it? You gave it to the computer repair store on the corner of Wilmington and First? Yeah? When did you turn it? When did you drop it off? You don't remember when? Did you delete all the photos and emails, or did you just literally give all the incriminating evidence to the FBI? Oh, you gave everything and you didn't delete anything. Oh, wow, fantastic, Svetlana, thanks. That's great. No problem at all. Nothing's gonna happen, but thanks a lot. Thanks for everything. It's just it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They get away. It's like they get away with everything. Then today on Twitter, they're like, Florida. It's like, dude, have you seen Massachusetts? They did exactly what you wanted. Everyone's done exactly what you wanted. We have lived our lives based on the commands of a wonderful person. Let me tell you something. I never heard an authority more profound and eloquent than this man. We did exactly what this man said. And now it's literally what I said before. And the different thing I'm saying now, it's actually exactly the same thing. You're the one who doesn't understand logic. Just because I say something now that's completely different from what I said prior, doesn't mean I'm the problem. You're the problem. You should apologize to me. It's unbelievable. We have the absolute worst intelligentsia on the planet. We have the worst intelligentsia on the planet. It's really like the worst. They're always wrong, yet they're even more confident. They're never in doubt. And the whole planet. This is why every single day, this is misinformation. It's a fact check. You can't doubt us. It's like everyone's looking and be like, Hunter, These organizations meant to save us have done the opposite. The inflation, we have inflation now, and now they're saying inflation is good. It means that people are making more money. Or what is it? It's people they're like making more money. Yeah, but an apple costs as much as a Ferrari. Is that good? I don't think that's good. Is that good? Is it good that an apple costs as much as a Ferrari? Is that good? I thought that was bad. No, it's great. You're making more money. What's the problem? Well, what happened to real GDP? See, when it was actually like the economy was at a record low in unemployment, they tried to find some way to explain that Trump was doing a bad job. They found some way. They tried to find some way. Paul, hello. So getting back to this Wall Street Journal article. As the paintings sell, apparently hundreds of thousands of dollars will simply appear in his bank account, and neither he nor the public. You think Durham doesn't know this? This could very well be tied to why, like, they went after Trump with such, fanaticism. As the paintings sell, apparently hundreds of thousands of dollars will simply appear in his bank account, and neither he nor the public will know where it came from. Svetlana, do you know how much I got for the painting that I made called Never Ending Eternity? It's fluorescent Coke bottles surrounded by flying mice drinking large cans of Yoo-hoo. Yeah. Do you know how much I made? I don't even know. Want to know why I don't even know? Because it went into my bank account yesterday. I haven't even checked. Yeah. I just sell these things. I mean, people take it seriously, whatever. I don't care. I'm not giving 10% to you-know-who anyway. Ever again. He's president. He makes, $40,000, $50,000 a year. I don't care. I'm not giving him money. I'm keeping the money myself. That's probably how it went down. You don't feel assured? Sources in the art world say the prices are floating between $75,000 and $500,000. Are you serious? Do you think maybe what Democrats and media say about certain politicians and their Hunter, Joe, this is like, I long for the days now. The Clinton Foundation was actually more honest. At least they're like, oh, we're just getting money from this billionaire, and then we're giving them actual beneficial treatment, and that's about it. Everything's fine. Now you don't even know who's giving money to Hunter. It's pretty hilarious. You gotta ask yourself, in the past 20 years, when all of media has said something, like in unison, has it been right? The lead up to Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's foreign policy debacles, okay? The stock market bubble prior to 2008, 2009. Clinton winning in a landslide. Trump working with Russia. When have they been right about like a topic that all of media has converged upon the country about? You had the tech bubble, the internet, the .com bubble in early 2000. In 2000, you had the .com bubble. You had WMD. I mean, think about it. What has media been right about in terms of like you had Trump, you had the .com bubble that was. There were endless articles. I remember back then, endless articles about how the stock market's never going to tank, and it's just this new era, and it's the .com bubble. Then that whole thing tanked. Then you had WMD, and that was the worst, most devastating, colossal catastrophe since Vietnam. And then you had, you look throughout the Bush years, you could say, there was a real estate bubble, fine. You probably could have found a whole bunch of articles. Let's see, in 2008, let's look, 2007, how many articles were there talking about? Oh, 06. So 06. You could probably... I'm trying to find an example. Enron is an example. They called Enron... They called Enron a strong buy. The sizzling market at the beginning of the year morphed into a market was sizzling. We can go on forever. Let's see. Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and pleasure. As we spoke yesterday evening, would be great to meet today for a quick coffee. What do you think? I could come to your office somewhere around noon or so before or on my way to the airport best. So it's like you already have an example of you have Biden forcing out a prosecutor, and then every fact-checking organization says, there's no link. Yeah, it's called circumstantial. There's no direct link. You tried to pin Trump on Trump Russia with a dossier you purchased. Here are actual emails that show that that Biden might have had a reason to force out a prosecutor. Is this too much for people to understand? We don't know if he forced out a prosecutor specifically because of these emails. We do know that they could be linked. It's logical. It's plausible. Then they hide within plausible deniability. Well, you can't prove it. You couldn't prove anything with Trump Russia. That's why you never indicted him in a court of law. And you could have done the same thing with the Clintons or the Bidens they did to Trump. You could have, utilized the United States government to go down to just try to intimidate and get a whole bunch of people on process crimes for allegedly lying to agents who had it in for, who wanted a public relations victory, simply to say, okay, well, we didn't get Trump, but we got this person for lying. Jean-Louis Blackburn. No comment, just carry on. I'm loving it. Thank you, Jean-Louis Blackburn. Thank you. Thank you, Jean-Louis Blackburn. I hope all is well. Thank you so very much. I keep on saying, ladies and gentlemen, I keep on saying, the issue is not the issue is not the Democratic Party. It's the Republican Party. I keep on saying this to everybody. It's the Republican Party. It's the fact that you have people, you have like Kinzinger, like crying today. Did he cry for the $1 to $2 billion in property damage and 25 lives lost, according to Wikipedia? Did he cry? This is the thing. If you want to say that you can't prove anything with Hunter, then say you can't prove anything with Trump. If you want to go after Trump with like a fanatic, like a zealot, like an obsessed, hysterical, apoplectic maniac, then do the same with Hunter and Democrats. Don't just go after one political side. Go after both. If the United States government and media treated Biden in the way they treat Trump, I wouldn't be saying anything. I'd be like, okay, well, that's just the country we live in. But this is a double standard. It's so obvious, too. It's a double standard. Because Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. could never have gotten away with what Biden's son got away with. And it's like, you have the entire American political establishment now. The reason that this is happening, the reason that politics has infused every element of society is that you have a situation where there's no alternative. Ron DeSantis gives an alternative. Donald Trump gives a huge alternative. You have people here and there. Devin Nunes. You have people here and there that give an alternative. Okay? But it's like the Republican Party should have said from the very beginning, we're going to investigate Hunter's emails with the same intensity and fervor and enthusiasm that Democrats investigated Trump. But see, that they didn't do that. So you don't have you need the pendulum to swing. If it swings too far one way, you need it to swing another way. You can't you can't simply say that, Jean-Louis, thank you again. You can't simply say that, well, Trump is so corrupt. He's the most corrupt. There's no semblance of objectivity. We live in a world where there's only one vantage point, and that's because of people like Mitt Romney. I was thinking of Romney and Cheney. Mitt Romney. They're basically the same person. Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney. We never had this, like, in American society, we've always had two political sides. When Trump took office, we didn't have two. Jeff Sessions was, I told people this, and nobody listened. I said he was the worst attorney general of all time. I said, don't listen to absurd message boards, and people still listen to absurd message boards. I told them, don't do it. It's so harmful. In 2018, long before the Daily Beast writer is now writing a book on this, I said to the world it was very harmful and nobody should pay attention to it. Okay? And it was just, and now it's an actual special counsel, and it's like, I'm like, hey, you know what? This is a story that's linked to the special counsel. We're like, wake me up when it happens. It's like there are people who were like, oh my God, you see that in the snow? He just went to the restroom and it's an M. M. You see the letter M? Oh my God, it's a sign. It's a sign in the snow. After he went to the bathroom, no less. Oh my God. It's happening. It's happening, Patriots. I'm like, no. I told people, I'm like, this is absurd. Just because like Democrats and media and just because they have tinfoil hat fantasies on the left, the difference is their fantasies or their irrational obsessions. Mark Smith, thank you. Thank you, Mark Smith, for becoming a member. Thank you so very much, Mark. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Just because people like this is what happens, and this is unfortunate. Democrats and media can say, "Oh my, it's raw intelligence. It's called a dossier." Yeah. Well, where did it come from? Well, Clinton purchased it, and the DNC purchased it. And some guy named Christopher Steele wrote it. Yeah, it was purchased. Don't you understand? It's complete nonsense. But we don't know. We have to investigate. Like, there are people, there are unfortunately a small number of conservatives, but it's too many, who believed a message board because it offered hope that the double standard in American politics would be, solved or addressed. People want to believe that eventually there will be justice or at least some fair play or at least a level playing field. But see, when Trump won, the system, the matrix was completely, it imploded. And then it reverted back to, okay, vengeance. This can't happen again. Both Republicans and Democrats converged upon Trump. And the first person to converge was Jeff Sessions. And who do you think that absurd message board was telling you to trust? Jeff Sessions. He started a special counsel. It was his Department of Justice. Trump came into the White House with a Department of Justice. He might as well have had Clinton as Attorney General. I mean, it wouldn't have been that different. So, it's like you look at everybody in this Conrad Virant. I am absolutely serious. What if all House Republicans kneel and beg? Would you be embarrassed, shamed into reality? Conrad Virant. Conrad, thank you. I think that what would happen... This is the thing. You can't... Pelosi has a well-oiled machine. And it's a well-oiled machine. You can't... I mean, Pelosi just insulted McCarthy. That's hilarious. Nice. Stefanik calls Liz Cheney a Pelosi pawn. Yeah, I like that. We're getting some action here. I like that. Yeah, slowly but surely, it's heating up. 2022 is around the corner. At least Stefanik. She's great. I'm warming up to Kevin McCarthy, even though I'd like him to be a little bit more forceful. Or, a little bit more confident. Conrad Virant, thank you. Conrad, I think that You have too many. See, this is the thing. The midterms this year will be basically like 2016. It'll be like 2016, but for Congress. So it takes a while. Like, Rome was not built in a day. Trump was able to basically sneak into the White House. He was able to. The American political establishment, our political system is structured so that a Trump does not get into office, so that a person who engages in tariffs against the largest country in the world and negotiates a deal to bring Americans home and moves the embassy to Jerusalem and allocates more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, and, doesn't care about, when they say he doesn't care about norms and traditions, that was a good thing. A lot of these norms and traditions they don't serve the people, they don't serve the average person. We had record low unemployment. But see, like, a lot of the tough talk among Democrats and among Republicans, Trump followed through on. See, what Trump was able to do was actually implement a lot of what they say they're going to do, he actually did or tried to do. I think that had he simply not tweeted. Thank you, Paul. I hope all is well. Paul, thank you again, as always. Had he simply not used Twitter, it would have been a different ballgame. Had he simply not used Twitter last year, it would have been a different ballgame. But you gotta wait. I mean, the Durham probe special counsel, I don't think it's gonna, if it ends before 2022, it probably won't be a good thing. But you need more of, Elise Stefanik calls Liz Cheney a Pelosi pawn. You need more of that, because that's what Democrats do. They have a well-oiled, finely tuned political machine. It's based on blind allegiance and obedience. Anyone who deviates. Bernie Sanders, he honeymooned in Russia, and then they tried to investigate him like with this. It was like this fabricated investigation linked to a university in Vermont. But see, that's what they do. They just investigate people they don't like, because they have such an ironclad grip on they're able to investigate their political rivals. And you look at it, like, they accused Matt Gaetz. Well, still no indictment. They've accused Trump of everything under the sun. Still no indictment. They accused Bernie Sanders. Still no indictment. They called Tulsi Gabbard a Russian operative. They called Jill Stein the same thing. If you don't fall in line, in lockstep, Democrats have media. They have loyalists within every department of the United States government, every branch of the United States government or department or agency. And this is because you have Richard Burr is a prime example. North Carolina senator. Here's a man who investigates Trump and concludes that the intelligence community's assessment was accurate, and the intelligence community's assessment was literally a confident, like, he confirmed what the intel community was kind of sort of confident about. Then he's a Republican. Then, okay, He heads the Senate Intelligence Committee. Instead of backing a Republican president, what does he do? He just goes ahead, plays ball, and then he sells stocks right before the market downturn after a classified briefing. You think they're going to investigate or indict? No way. No way. If you play ball, nice, Eric, H526. I think, but didn't I quit in like the last day of 2018, something like that? I think it was something. Eric H526, was it the end of 2018? I thought it was the end of 2018. That was the worst. Twitter is the worst social media platform known to man. It is the absolute worst social media platform. The absolute worst. Let's continue. You don't feel reassured? Sources in the art world say the prices being floated from $75,000 to $500,000, depending on the piece, are seriously high, especially for an unknown painter doing his first sale. So the question is, who might be quietly trying to funnel money to President Biden's son? There you go. The art sale is a bad idea, full stop, but at least transparency would let bids be scrutinized. Why on earth would we not know who is buying Hunter's quote-unquote art? Is he like, some kind of dystopian Forrest Gump? It's like everything, you see him like he's like, heading the America's Cup. He's in a sailboat. He's, just, and then if no matter what place he gets $1 million from, somebody in the world. It's, it's the America's Cup. Yeah. That's this new, this is how the earnings are divvied out. You see, it's like, how did he go from an oil and gas expert to now an artist? What next? He's like the Forrest Gump of graft. So, anyway, let's see what else is going on. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left. Let's see here. Let's see here. Why doesn't Kinzinger care about, or why doesn't Cheney, or why don't the Republicans? Why don't they care about the $1 to $2 billion in property damage? It's another thing. That's another thing. Why don't they care about $1 to $2 billion in property damage? They only seem to care about what suits one political party. It's so transparent and overt and obvious too. It's not like everyone sees what's going on. And this is why I try to explain this, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone should be looking forward to 2022. everyone should be looking forward to 2022. 2022 is going to be a very, very important time in American history because it'll finally be the pendulum swinging back to the other side of the political spectrum. This time, I mean, Democrats and Republicans take turns being on the right side of history or doing the right things from a historical perspective. We're looking now at a Democratic Party that's wasting its time in the spotlight. It has wasted its time the past this has been such a waste. The past 4 years in terms of, well, I mean, President Trump has done great things, so his contributions have been profound. He single-handedly reversed American foreign policy. He got us out of numerous regions of the world, ended covert programs, did a lot of great things that Democrats would never have done. So, I mean, in that respect, you know, Mark Smith, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, I am running out of steam. To my super chat, thank you, Conrad. Everybody here, thank you. Ringen. I can't thank you enough, everybody. Ringen, thanks so much for starting it off always. I'll be back tomorrow, everyone. For the... there's this new feature that I'll talk about. And if you're watching an upload that you like, if you ever say, I'll buy this guy a cup of coffee or whatever, there's a thing called Super Thanks. So it's right next to the share button on the uploads, and it's just a thank button. It's kind of like Super Chat, but for uploads. So if there's ever an upload that anybody does like, you can hit Super Thanks, and I'll be super thankful. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. To my super chat, thank you so much. Paul, thank you. Eric and Luke, thanks so much. I'll see everybody tomorrow.